there is a way that seems to be right in the eyes of man, but in the end it leads to destruction. Because even in our most calculated of ways, we still fall short. Hello everybody, I am Joan Lydia Mbeyu for those who are new here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a space where we aim to learn and relearn as we pursue the wisdom of God with the aim and objective of it transforming our lives so that we may become better versions of ourselves day by day. So today I want to briefly discuss the quest for the wisdom of God and why it is essential for us to obtain the wisdom of God. So sit back, relax, and let's get into this. The greatest need for many of us, if not all of us, is wisdom, and that is godly wisdom. We have so much information, but many of us lack the wisdom of God, and this is very dangerous because we cannot tell between what is good for us and what will eventually destroy us in the long run. And that's where we need the wisdom of God to give us discernment over the matters of life. And the discernment of God enables us to tell the difference between what is right and what is almost right. We live in an age of information whereby so much information can be easily accessible from so many platforms. Additionally, we live in an age where everyone is speaking, everyone has their own opinion. Just go on the internet, you'll find an advisor of anything and everything. Even those who are not experts are giving their own opinions. And this has resulted to people with scanty information and knowledge gaps advising people, hence leading people into pits of distraction. And you'll find these people are being celebrated out here and they become role models of others, hence leading to mass destruction of so many people. And why is this happening? This is because so many people lack the wisdom of God in them. And with this, I would like to advise all of us, we ought to be very sensitive on what we hear out here, because as I said, there are so many people who are speaking, so many people have their own platforms giving their opinions. So we need to be very sensitive on what we hear, because eventually from what you hear is what you become. So you need to be careful on whom you follow, whom you listen to, who is your point of reference, because they dish out whatever information they have, and some of these people lack the wisdom of God. One ought to have the wisdom of God to operate this life that we are living right now. If Solomon, the one Solomon in the Bible, who is said to have been the wisest man to ever be alive, said and charged people to not lean onto their own understanding, but in all their ways to acknowledge God and seek God's wisdom. If that Solomon advised people to do that, then who are we to think that we can operate this life on our own terms and on our own wisdom? Solomon still goes ahead to say in Proverbs 14:12 that there is a way that seems to be right in the eyes of man, but in the end it leads to destruction. So this shows you how much we need the wisdom of God, because even in our most calculated of ways, we still fall short. The Bible commands us to seek the wisdom of God consistently and constantly. It requires us to direct and incline our hearts and minds in seeking God. And it requires this seeking of God's wisdom, like how you will seek for hidden treasures. And it continues to say that gaining wisdom is far much better than gaining silver. And how wisdom will profit you is far much better than how even fine gold will profit you. And it is far much more precious than rubies. So this just shows you how much precious, how much profitable, how much essential and significant the wisdom of God is to us. And I keep on emphasizing on the wisdom of God, because there's so many wisdoms out here, and you find also human beings have their own wisdom, but I'm emphasizing on the wisdom of God because in Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9 it says that the ways of God are higher than the ways of human beings, and the way he thinks is not how we think. That shows you that the wisdom of God is way above than the wisdom of man. Why do we need the wisdom of God? Firstly, the Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. The wisdom of God will lead you in the paths of righteousness. The wisdom of God will keep you from perverse and immoral ways. It will give you the comprehensive insight into the ways and purposes of God. The wisdom of God will guide you on matters pertaining to life, and it will help you to do right by God so that you will not displease him. If you're a Christian and you believe when all this life is done and it's over, that we will stand before God and give accountability of all that we've done or all that we did on earth, then you need the wisdom of God to do life on earth the way God needs you to do it. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 2 that we ought to take a firm hold of God's wisdom. It will guard us. It is a shield for those who walk uprightly and in integrity. The wisdom of God will deliver you from crooked ways. It will deliver you from the ways of evil and darkness. And his understanding will keep you from the wicked and the treacherous. So God's wisdom will give you the values and morals that will deliver you from the ways of those who are perverse, from the ways of those who are wicked, from the ways of those who are evil, thus guarding you. Secondly, the wisdom of God has the capability of exalting you and promoting you. The wisdom of God can give you insight and innovative ideas that will set you far apart from the rest in whatever sector, in whatever area you find yourself. The Bible still says in Proverbs that the wisdom of God will exalt and honor whosoever finds it, giving them the riches of life and honor, that whosoever finds it, they are very blessed and very fortunate. I'll give you an instance of one person who God exalted due to the wisdom that he gave them. And that person is Joseph, the one Joseph who was in Genesis, who was sold by his brothers to the Egyptians as a slave. So Joseph advised Pharaoh on his dream. You remember the dream that Pharaoh had of the skinny cows consuming the fat cows and the withered wheat plant consuming the healthy wheat plant. And Joseph gave wisdom to Pharaoh on how to manage the economic affairs so that they will be able to prepare for the oncoming famine. And given the wisdom that Joseph gave Pharaoh, Pharaoh exalted Joseph to the second most powerful person in Egypt after himself. So this shows you how the wisdom of God can exalt you to higher places, lifting you from lowly places and giving you a throne among the princes and the kings. And that's what happened to Joseph, being uplifted from a prisoner to the second most powerful person in Egypt. The wisdom of God can give you insight and innovative ideas of doing things way different from how people do them, thus making you comprehend and interpret things way differently from other people. Hence, you get set apart and you become valuable amongst your peers and your mates because your ways are just different from how other people are used to. Not a day in this life passes that we don't need the wisdom of God. We need the wisdom of God constantly and consistently. As human beings, we are myopic. We just see things here. We can't see far. We do not even know what will happen the next 5 minutes or what will happen tomorrow or next week. So we need the wisdom of God to make the decisions and choices that life brings to us, from your spiritual life to your careers, to your business, to relationships, to friendships, to marriage, to how you manage your finances, to how you raise your kids. You need the wisdom of God to help you so that you can do it right. God sees everything and He knows everything. He is the God who sees the end from the beginning. He knows if you make this decision, where will it lead you in the next coming days or months or years? Or if you take this route, where will you end? So we need to acknowledge Him in every choice, in every decision we make, because He knows better. And there are times where God can protect you from certain friendships by telling you to cut off some relationships and friendships, because He knows if you continue with this person, you'll end up being betrayed, or you end up just in a bad place. Or don't make this financial deal because either you'll be defrauded or you'll lose a lot of money, or it's just not worth it. Even in your career, God can give you innovative ideas that will propel you further in your business. Even those who are in school, God can give you His wisdom so that you may be able to comprehend and interpret things way better. This shows you that we need God every day in every aspect, in every area of our lives, but we've got to learn to lean on Him, to trust in Him, and truly be confident in Him that He knows better. He knows what's best for us, and His decisions for us are way better than the decisions we would have made for ourselves. Because sometimes God will make a decision for you, or He'll tell you to make a particular decision that it wasn't what you wanted, but you've got to trust in Him that He knows what's best for you and He knows what you need, even if you cannot see it now. So you just have to blindly trust Him, because His ways are higher than our ways and His thinking is not our thinking. I will leave you with this, James chapter 1 verses 5 to 8, that says, to all those who lack wisdom, ask God. He will give it to you generously without finding fault. And if you ask, you have to believe. Do not doubt. And with His wisdom, He will direct and make your path straight, and you will understand the right way of doing things. So my dear brothers and sisters, let us not stop seeking for God's guidance through His wisdom. So that's it from me. See you next time. Bye-bye.